Hey Wargamers, the other day I saw a question that piqued my interest, and that question was, do Tau need jump, shoot, jump? Or in other words, do we need to be able to move in the assault phase using jetpacks to be successful? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you like this video, go ahead, hit subscribe and the notification bell. That way you don't miss any of my upcoming uploads. Alright, so let's start with the basics. Last week we talked about what the jetpack does in the current index. Short and sweet, the answer is nothing. But in the new Codex, we expect there to be some sort of benefit to the jetpack keyword. And what that is unclear. But one thing that we hope it will do is allow suits to move at some point in the game other than the movement phase. So whether that's in the shooting phase or in the assault phase, something like that, being able to use your jetpack to reposition after shooting is something that a lot of people are looking forward to in this upcoming book. Now, do I think that Tau are going to get a special rule for jetpacks that allow them to move in the assault phase just like they did in 7th edition, 5th edition, 3rd edition? No, I don't. Instead, what I think is going to happen is there's going to be a new stratagem that only affects units with the jetpack keyword. Now, the question is then, if that's the case, can those units still function appropriately? So let's kind of look at the costs and benefits, the strengths and weaknesses of having that jetpack thrust move and where it is most useful. Really, there is one main benefit to having the thrust ability, and that is it allows you to move out of line of sight and prevent incoming damage by blocking line of sight to the unit that just fired. So you can get in nice and close, fire your weapons, and then get out of line of sight and prevent some damage. There is a secondary benefit, and that allows you to reposition your troops more effectively. So if you're looking to capture an objective, you can thrust your way over there and capture that more effectively. And that's really something that shouldn't be discounted, but when people are talking about jump, shoot, jump, that's not really what we're talking about. Instead, we're talking about the defensive benefits of jump, shoot, jump and how important that had been to Tau strategy in the past. So if we look at all the different units that have the jetpack keyword, that includes commanders, crisis suits, riptides, drones, stealth suits, and ghost keels. All of them have the jetpack keyword, and so they could all potentially benefit from a jump, shoot, jump stratagem or something like that. But I don't think you actually need the jump, shoot, jump stratagem for all of those. Instead, there's kind of a gradient from high priority to low priority that will benefit from that stratagem. So let's kind of start at the low end of the gradient there and work our way up. At the low end is ghost keels and stealth suits. They really don't need jump, shoot, jump to be effective because their main role in the army right now is to bring homing beacons, but also to be advanced scouts, position aggressively early on in the game, and to mitigate damage via their stealth special rules. So especially for the ghost keel, there's a lot of durability built in there that means that it doesn't necessarily need the extra protection of jump, shoot, jump. Would it help? Yes, of course it would help, but it's not critical for the implementation of a ghost keel to be able to move forward, shoot, and then move back. Most of the benefit of bringing a ghost keel is wrapped up in that -2 hit modifier, and that's going to do a fair amount to prolong the life of the model beyond just being able to reposition. So that's pretty squarely in the low benefit of jump, shoot, jump, I think. Moving up, things like the Riptide. Riptides get some benefit out of jump, shoot, jump, but a lot of their weapons are fairly long range, and they have a fair amount of durability built into them due to their high toughness and large number of wounds. So again, it's not critical that they are able to jump, shoot, jump, and besides, they're pretty big. It's hard to completely get them out of line of sight, and so having jump, shoot, jump isn't going to help that much. So Riptide's really not getting that much benefit out of it. Similarly, commanders are not going to get that much benefit out of jump, shoot, jump because their characters. They're able to hide behind other units. And so being able to hide behind a wall is just as good as being able to hide again behind another unit of you know, any sort, right? As long as there's another unit closer, they can't be targeted, and that's exactly the same as being out of line of sight. So they're really not getting that much benefit there either. Instead, the two units that I think would get the most benefit out of a jump, shoot, jump stratagem are crisis suits and drones. And primarily crisis suits, because crisis suits right now have a really tough time, and it's largely due to just the efficiency of the commander, but crisis suits just don't bring enough bang for their buck. And so if we were to implement a jump, shoot, jump stratagem for crisis suits, we would actually be able to use them potentially more effectively than commanders. They would be a lot more competitive of a choice compared to commanders if you're able to move them out of line of sight. And in that way, they become a lot more durable. And that's a huge component of why they're weak, is they're just not as durable as you need them to be. So for that reason, I think crisis suits are really the MVP in terms of who is going to benefit the most from a jump, shoot, jump stratagem. In a close second are drones, and it's not because drones necessarily need it. They're there mostly to be ablative wounds and to shield characters, but if they're going to be hanging out with crisis suits or other characters, other jetpack units, having them benefit from the jump, shoot, jump stratagem too makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, you're going to be leaving them out in the open and they're not going to be able to benefit from it. So having the ability to move drones a little bit extra is going to be useful. Additionally, being able to reposition them to hold objectives or things like that is a nice use because they are so cheap. You don't necessarily want to throw expensive units to grab an objective when you could just send drones instead. And so being able to use the jump, shoot, jump stratagem for the purposes of objective grabbing has some merit there too. If we're talking about units that aren't in the Codex, I think, again, really good units that are going to benefit from this are going to have a similar set of weaknesses to crisis suits. So hazard suits are going to benefit a lot from having a jump, shoot, jump stratagem. And although the Yavara is my favorite child of the current Tau lineup, I think the Yavara would benefit too, just because it does help close the gap, helps it implement its weaponry a little bit more effectively and gives it some additional options. So being able to do that jump, shoot, jump with the Yavara could also be pretty darn effective. So that's it. Those are the guys that I think really are going to benefit. I think having a jump, shoot, jump stratagem for crisis suits can really make them a lot more valuable, even if they stayed exactly the way they are, which I don't think they will. I think there's going to be some tweaking, but just at a bare minimum, having access to that stratagem is going to make crisis suits a lot better. And I think it also is going to make you want to bring larger units of crisis suits so you're able to implement that strategy on a broader scale, because again, you can only use the stratagem once per phase in a match play game, and so you're going to want to capitalize on that opportunity. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are we going to see a jump, shoot, jump stratagem or not? How are you going to use it? Let me know. Again, thanks for watching, and of course, happy wargaming. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank all my patrons over on Patreon. Your support really makes a difference for me, and I really appreciate it. Special thanks goes out to NoExcusesPanda, Paul Leuders, TauOswell, Andy Young, Peter Benjamin Parker, Deverson, and Giovanni DiMaggio. You guys rock, thank you. If you liked this video particularly well, head on over to Patreon and consider joining our community over there. Thanks as always, and happy wargaming.